Weekend nights, the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with strawberry ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. TTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ices on the mic, energy, it's good delight. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse that's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting loud, they all know how. CTV got what we crave. Sports with ice, it's waves and waves. Tigers strike and Bengals roar. Every game we want some more. Tune it in and feel the thrill. Strawberry ice, he's giving chills. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. TTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's good delight. Weekend nights, the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with strawberry ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's good delight. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Trenopole, and as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of one of the best tailgates around. Best deal, I'll put it that way. If you're going to the Banks and you're going to go hang out and drink and eat before the Bengals game, I highly recommend you check out the Mercedes-Benz of Fort Mitchell at Moorline Lager House, the pregame experience. It's 3 hours before every Bengals home game. Two of the greatest words in the English language, open bar. When I mean open bar, I mean open bar. You get whatever you want. They have a delicious food buffet. So, you can drink all you want. You can eat all you want. Ice, this has got to be like a ton of money, right? Like $100, $150? Nope. $75. That's it. $75. So if you're going to the tailgate in your own parking lot and bring your own beer, I can't beat that. But if you are going to the Banks and going to hang out, you're going to spend more than $75, I guarantee you. And you're not going to be able to have any food. It's mostly just be drinks. Here you get food and drink. So again, check out Mercedes-Benz of Fort Mitchell at Moorline Lager House, the pregame experience. Go check out Moorline Lager House social media platforms. Check out mine. All the ticket information is there. And join me and Joe Schmo tomorrow night at Millions Cafe. We'll be doing a live show there. It's right out in Mount Lookout Square. We'll be doing a live show from 6:30 to 7:30. We asked you guys to come join us. It's been a very interesting show. The first week, we had a heckler. Last week, we had a drunk guy out in the front of it. Looked like he was almost going to die. Had the ambulance come and everything, and we live streamed it, and it's pretty interesting. So, come on. It's an interactive show. Head down. We can bitch about the Bengals. We can talk about the Bearcats. We can talk about Ohio State. We can talk about whatever you guys want. So, come on down to Millions Cafe, starting at 6:30 tomorrow night. What is up to everybody in the chat? We got Brad's in there, and Paul Painter. Tony Blazin is in there. My man, Tony. I met him the other night. He's a cool dude. And Joey Carr, what is going on? All right, guys, news of the day real quick here before I get to my boy Dale. Thursday Night Football, we got the Browns versus the Steelers. I hope they both lose, or it just goes to a tie. That would be wonderful. I don't think that's going to happen. Big Willie. I know this happened yesterday, but I didn't do a show yesterday. Is in a semifinalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Same position he was in last year. Hopefully, it actually happens this year. And then we got to get Ken Anderson in. Then we got to get Corey Dillon in. We got to keep working. And I don't know, did you guys hear this? I put up the show, today that, I am guaranteeing that the Bengals will not lose this weekend. Well, they're not playing. But Jermaine Pratt has come out and said he guarantees the Bengals are going to beat the Steelers. I like that attitude. I hope it's going to happen. We'll see. I think, unfortunately, there's going to be more Steelers fans than Bengals fans there, which is going to piss me off. But with all that being said, let's get to the Bengals pimp. He's none other than Dale Altman. I'm getting there. What's up, Dale?
I am here.
I know. My mouse doesn't want to work sometimes. What's going on, pimp?
Oh, not much, man. It's cold down here. Layered up.
Yeah, I know. First snow of the season. So did you run to the store and get your bread and your eggs and your milk and everything? Because White Death is here.
Yeah, no. It snowed a little earlier, but it's clear here. You guys actually have some on the ground up there, or down there, or over there, or?
Yeah, around there. We got it on the roof and a little bit like on top of the grass, but nothing's on the roads are just wet. It's been too warm.
Right.
But it's supposed to keep snowing, but I mean, I still don't think it's going to stick. We might have like slush tomorrow when I wake up to go to work or whatever, but that's it. So I guarantee the Bengals won't lose this week. Pratt is guaranteeing the Bengals will win against the Steelers. I mean, you know me, I like that kind of stuff. I'm here for it.
Why not at this point, right? Like usually I'm like, whatever, just keep quiet, go handle your business. But I mean, at this point, it doesn't really matter. Like the Steelers are a unit; they're 8-2. Good chance they're 9-2 after tonight. They're going to have 10 days, so they got a nice little rest in between coming to play us too.
Natty.
But yeah, I got the bye week as a 3-point favorite right now.
Get the bye week as a 3-point favorite. What's up, Natty?
We'll have an early lead, or we'll be tied, but we'll blow it at the end.
Yeah.
Somehow.
That sounds about right.
Bye week.
Exactly. What's up, Natty? I haven't seen you in the chat in a while. I want to say what's going on. He was one of my original guys, and he's probably been busy. Hasn't been able to get on. But yeah, and Cameron's in there. What's going on, Cam? Guess I had Cam. How are you?
Absolutely. What's up, Cameron?
Yeah. This. Have you had a more frustrating season? I mean, this is probably the most frustrated I've been as a Bengals fan. I mean, because, dude, if the Bengals would have come all the way back, they would have tied for the biggest comeback in Bengals history, 21 points down. And, like, that second half, like, something happened. I don't know what happened in the locker room, but that defense came out and played great up until the last the last drive.
Always, right?
Right. But I mean, they were doing what we've been asking for. I'm like, that whole week, I'm like, just make one stop. Just make one stop. That's all you gotta do. Make one stop. And they made not one but two. And Shooter, Ed McPherson, Money Mac. And yeah, it's 48-yard field goal. He can make that. It's a chip shot for him normally. And he misses it twice. I was like, what the heck is going on? I was like, we keep doing stuff to lose. Other teams make plays to win. We make plays to lose this year. And it's just one of the guys at work was telling me that the stats that Joe Burrow has, the other stats, quarterbacks that put stats up like this, they were like 17-3, 12-4. Like him and Chase are putting together an unbelievable season, and we're wasting it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think that's it's definitely up there for one of the most. I mean, there's been seasons that end with some terrible losses, Steelers playoff losses, and different things that have been frustrating. The Super Bowl loss, but as a season as a whole, I can't remember one that's more frustrating because the expectations are so high, and it's like if Burrow is healthy, and he has been, and we know what he can do, and he's doing it, and
we're still fucking losing.
All those things combined. We got the leading guy, leading sack leader in the entire NFL. Right. But the next highest is 2, which tells us everything we need to know because no one else can consistently get pressure and make plays. And it's a huge problem, and it needs to be an emphasis. And even though the offense is humming and putting up points, we have 2 terrible guards. And Volson, and then Alex Kappa used to be pretty solid, but he's just gotten more it's just,
I have a question.
And it happens as you get older in your career sometimes. Yeah. So you got to replace both of them, in my opinion.
So I have a question for you because Joe Farsing, who's on the show with me on Tuesdays, he's like, "Oh, that was a terrible signing. They shouldn't have signed him." Like, bullshit. When Kappa was a free agent, he was one of the top guards. So it's like James Rapine. Somebody said, "Well, the Bengals shouldn't have." Somebody quote tweeted him, or he quote tweeted it. The Bengals should have never signed Trent Brown. Bullshit. Yeah, they should have. Yeah. He got hurt. I mean, you can't.
He was starting to play good, and I think he would have continued to play good, but injuries happen.
Yeah, I hate that. That was a terrible signing. No, it wasn't. I mean, Kappa was a good guard. He's gotten older. He's not playing that good now. With Orlando Brown,
we had nothing at the time. Our offensive line was so bad. So absolutely, I don't regret that signing.
No, I don't regret it at all.
He's at the tail end of his career, and his play's not good enough anymore.
And the thing is, like Cordell Volson, he's going to do this, but I mean, but he plays, in my opinion, and people who their stats and everything will probably say I'm wrong. In my opinion, he plays better when Orlando Brown is there. It seems like they handle the stunts and stuff better when Orlando is there. When Orlando's not there, the guards are more glaring to me. Because last 2 weeks, I think it's 2 weeks that Orlando hasn't played. I mean, Joe's got hit 35 freaking times or whatever. I'm just exaggerating. Probably not exaggerating, but he's got hit a lot. And I think he's got hit more since Orlando's not there. Do you think that I know it's a big difference, but do you see the guard Volson playing better when Orlando's in there compared to when he's not?
Honestly, it's weird because you'll see a couple games here or there from Volson, and it's like, oh, maybe the light's coming on. We kind of saw it at the end of last year. He's not a good pass blocker. He really never has been. And when, we kind of switched things up at the end of last year because it wasn't Joe Burrow, so you weren't, always throwing it 40 times a game, and Volson looked better. Now, he played a little bit better at times this year, but anytime he faced an actual decent interior D-line, he didn't look good, even with Orlando there. Okay. I just don't think he's it. Maybe he's a good guy to have as depth, because I think you could kick him out. You could move him around. Like, he wouldn't be a good guy to have as depth, because he's still got another year on his contract. Yeah, but I don't think there's any way. And they failed, honestly, the last couple of years by not bringing in any competition for him.
Dude, I've said that in the offseason. I said they need to bring in at least depth to that offensive line. That's what I was concerned about.
Make these guys compete.
Yeah, because, I knew we had – I said I was okay with our tackles because we had Trent Brown and we had Mims. So I still would like a little better, but I was okay with it. Guard, the interior, I wasn't okay with. We had a center, and that was really it. I mean, Cody Ford, I think, is a better guard than he is a tackle. And honestly, Cody Ford, I don't.
He's fine as depth. He's fine as depth.
He hasn't done awful. I mean, he's not Orlando Brown. He's a backup for a reason. He's done okay. But I agree that they need to bring in more depth. Well, because, and too, I kept saying this, we got to get money off of this offensive line because we're paying Ted Karras, because we're paying Orlando Brown, because we're paying Alex Kappa. Now, there's three guys we're paying a lot of money to that they got to draft people to replace them eventually. And I'll say this before the season even started because we're not going to be able to keep all of them because we got to sign Jamar. And I thought we were going to sign T, but we're not going to. But you got to get money off this offensive line. You got to get it younger.
Well, you got yes and no, because I think now needing two guards, that I'm not opposed to signing one, but you can clear up a lot of Kappa's money by cutting him this year. He's got 1 year left on his deal, but the cap savings are quite a bit now compared to the play you're getting. So I would cut him and I would sign a veteran. It don't have to be right guard. It could be left guard, and then draft. I would draft one within the first 3 rounds, probably somewhere in those middle rounds. You can usually get a guy in between rounds 2 and 4 at guard that can give you pretty good play, assuming you can identify the right talent. The scouts don't always do. The 3 of them they basically have.
They might have 4. You never know. But I have a question for you. It's that people brought this up, and this could be an option that they do. Lee, the center, I can't think of his first name.
Matt Lee.
Matt Lee, thank you. Do you think there's a chance that they could possibly put him at center and take Teddy out the guard next year, and that way they'd only have to? I would still go get 2 guards, regardless.
Yeah.
But I would at least do it, and then you have a competition of you got 4 guys for 3 spots. Center, guard, however you want to do it. That's what I would do. Create competition.
I'm not opposed to that at all. I don't know how open the Bengals are, but I think Matt Lee deserves to have a shot to play center because of, how good he is as a pass blocker, and that's something we do. And I don't know if that happens this year. I'm not saying it will. Yeah. But I agree for next year. Like, why not if Matt Lee looks good again in camp and off season and preseason, and then you got to think about doing that and kicking Teddy out to left guard, or hey, you guys are competing for center. Ted's not getting any younger, and if the young guy beats him out, he beats him out, and you still got Ted Karras around for a year as a leader, as depth that can play guard, can play center. So either way, I think there's a good, there's no reason not to have that as an option, at least. And I think sometimes they pigeonhole themselves with, no, Ted's a center and we're keeping him at center, and that's that.
Well, that's another good reason just to keep Ted on this team, leadership. Because I was okay with losing Joe Mixon. I said I think Joe Mixon, I thought he was going to have a hell of a year in Houston. I think that offense fits him better. He doesn't run good out of shotgun. He does better when they're under center. We are a 90% shotgun team or whatever. But I think his leadership, his rah-rah, his attitude, I think has hurt this team, to be honest, more than I actually thought. I wasn't thinking of that. I was thinking more of his play on the field. But I think losing him in the locker room, I think, has been a bigger loss than any of us actually thought it might be.
Well, and I think maybe it doesn't. It's not as bad if you still had DJ Reader, because you lost Reader and Boyd and him all in the same offseason, those three, plus you lost Jesse Bates not too long ago, who was always a high character guy, because I'll never forget Bates, Mixon, and Boyd all standing up together after a tough loss to the media. So that's three locker room leaders, and we know Reader was a locker room big-time leader kind of guy. So, you've lost a lot of that veteran leadership. And now, like you said with Pratt, that he is trying to step up and fill that void. But one thing, man, that guy isn't the fastest guy in the world on the field too. So he's got to hold up his part. Now I don't knock on our linebackers as bad.
Joe Farsi he was against signing Pratt. I was surprised they signed him. I thought they were going to let him go, and I thought Keem Davis Gaither was going to be in. I'm like, that's cool. I'm glad they signed him. I don't regret signing him. I think he has lost a step or two, but I'm not concerned with the linebacking core. Now, one thing people are coming at me.
It still wouldn't hurt to maybe draft a younger athletic guy. It's never to get in the building,
Right. Yeah, that's never a bad idea to draft. Just draft somebody for competition in general, anywhere you get on the field. But people are coming at me like, "Oh, we are so screwed for the next couple. It's going to take us so long to fix this." Like, honestly, we went from a terrible team to a Super Bowl team in about a year and a half. So we can, in my opinion, especially if Joe and Jamar keep doing which I don't think they're going to play at this level next year. Hopefully they will. I don't think we're that far away. Honestly, it's a lot. I think we need an interior guy, a defensive end. We need a cornerback, maybe two, a safety, and two guards. That's a lot. That is a lot. But you can get most of that, or maybe all of it, in one offseason, especially with the salary cap room that the Bengals have. Now, will they do it? I don't know.
Yeah, that's always a big question. But I'm with you. I definitely think I want to see more battle the rest of this year. I know he's kind of been splitting a lot of snaps.
I want to see Tyson Anderson. I like to see what he's got.
But I definitely think you're going to need at least one safety, and you can cut Geno Stone. He's not good enough, so I hope they do cut Geno Stone. And you can use that money. That's just more money that you can free up for other guys. Sam Hubbard should probably be cut. Camden,
I was going to get that too.
I don't know if he will be, but I think he should be. But there's a lot of ways. Sheldon Rankin should be cut. Canada. He's provided nothing, and you can save a lot of money. So you can free up like $35 million with like 4 cuts on this team. 4 cuts of guys who are basically providing next to nothing for most of the season so far. But yeah, one position that I do kind of like, it just sucks that it's so injured, is cornerback, especially if we see more from Josh Newton. He played
good.
To have Josh Newton, DJ Turner has played well almost all season. He's he's a piece. And then Dax Hill played really good.
Yeah.
That is with Cam's fall off, and you think maybe Cam gets his shit together before next year and plays like the Cam Taylor and like the Cam Taylor Britt we already saw. But I'm just saying that's not a bad nucleus of outside corners, and maybe somebody's going to have to kick inside if they don't re-sign Hilton, but they re-sign Hilton. That's a lot of depth. We haven't seen enough of DJ Ivey to make an opinion, but that's not bad. And then, can you keep Trey? Because losing Trey would kill us. We need another edge rusher and Trey. And an interior pass rusher. But if we lose a guy like that because we're unwilling to negotiate with him or something, then that will really hurt. Because
Yeah.
losing T is going to hurt, but we've still seen
Trey
with
will hurt
Joe
more.
Burrow. Yes, yes, you can't afford to lose. Trey,
They cannot afford to lose Trey. They can't. I love T, but in this offseason for me, signing Trey is more important than signing T. Because we've seen. I mean, I love T. I wish they'd sign him, but I've come with David Mulgeta as his agent. That made him get him the most money, and the Bengals will not pay him. Which, I mean,
we can't lose any more defensive pieces because we're still reeling. We're still trying to fill the Jesse Bates void. We're still trying to fill the Larry Ogunjobi void. We're trying to fill the DJ Reader void. But that's what I'm saying. We're still trying to fill these voids on defense. If somehow you don't find if Trey wants out or says, I'll retire before I'll play again next year without a new contract, I just make the man happy and get him to stay on contract.
Yeah, just make him happy. Make Chase happy. That would be a great way to start this offseason. Sign both those two guys to extensions before free agency even hits. February. Like, here's your contract. What do you guys want? And give it to them. And then if you cut the guys you're talking about and they don't re-sign T, that's a lot. I don't know how much money that is offhand, but that's a lot of money. Plus the salary cap's going up. Now, they've got to draft well, which they did this year. I'm happy with the draft. I think the draft did good. The free agency the last 2 years has been garbage. I mean, they have not hit because to the 2 years before that, or 2 or 3 years before that, they hit on everything. So it's like they got to come to like the middle, where I would take a free agency where they hit on a lot of them, but don't have to hit on all of them like consistently.
Well, it's silly some of the things that they haven't done that even as a fan base, a lot of us scream for, like a Calais Campbell, like a Poona Ford, like a Tim Settle. And these are like D-line guys. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you got this weakness and you just don't bring in these guys for, at worst, depth. But like as fan base, we see it and they don't go and get these. And it's not like these aren't going to cost you a bazillion. Tyre Hart, and it's like, well, his stuff didn't go. They didn't like what was going on here when he visited. His attitude. I don't give a fuck. Can he play football? Because obviously he can. He's doing very well for the Chargers. It's like so, but then they spent third-round draft capital on Jermaine Burton, who goes out there and gives up on routes consistently when he does get on the field, and
that
shows up to practice and doesn't get. So I'm just saying, you can't talk out of one side of your ass about one player and do something.
No, that is irritating me too with Burton. There's been a couple times where I think it was not last week, but the week before that, where Burrow threw him the ball as outside shot, and to me, he's fast as fuck. It looked like, dude, dive, take another step. I'm like he's like, stop running. Oh, I can't catch it. It's like the one in the end zone last week. It's like, get your other arm up there. It's like the effort. He's like, he gets there, but then the final effort to make the catch is not there. That's irritating with him.
Yeah, there was an all-22 clip of the deep shot that they took this past week, and he almost starts to like cut it in and slow down a bit, and it would have been there had he just kept running where he should have been running.
Yeah, I don't.
Right there.
I don't, and that reminds me of Jerome Simpson, because Jerome Simpson would do that. He would drive me freaking. I'm like, just run. I'm yelling at TV like, why are you stopping? Run. That's what you're paid to do. That's what got you to the NFL is your speed. Run.
But I have zero hope that he is T's replacement because I'm like you. I can't see them keeping T whether we want it or not. It doesn't matter.
Well, but the good thing is though, the Bengals are really good at drafting wide receivers in the second and third round. So
the early second was T. That's basically a first round pick to me. The 33rd pick, and then like
but
I know Chad,
John, TJ. They've got a history of it. So,
but I'm just saying, I don't want to spend a first-round draft pick on another wide receiver. I'm not saying that you're saying that, but I'm saying like that scares the hell out of me that we'll let T walk and do that, though.
I hope not.
Scares the hell out of me.
Because, I mean, if we don't make the playoffs, which doesn't look like we're going to, but there's still a chance. You never know. But I'm still holding out hope, Dale. Just bear with me, okay? Just if we don't make the playoffs, we're going to have a top 10 project, at least top 10.
Yeah, fringe. We're at 11th right now. Okay.
So with you as the draft guy there, who is your 10th, 11th ranked player right now?
Oh, God, I'm not sure I know that off the top of my head, but I mean, I like Abdul Carter, Mason Graham. I've got these are guys that are in the top 5 that are D-line guys that I would love to slide to 11.
What positions are they? I don't know.
Okay, so Abdul Carter is an edge from Penn State.
Okay.
He's a great pass rusher. He doesn't necessarily fit their size because he's closer to 6'3", 250.
Mm-hmm.
And every DN they have on the roster is between 260 and 270. It's a weird fetish thing they have, like they do with guards. Their guards are 6'6" and 6'7". You don't have to be 6'6" or 6'7" to be a good guard in the NFL. A lot of times low man wins, and the leverage is actually very important in there. But, you know, the Bengals with their weird number fetishes for this stuff drives me crazy. But Abdul Carter is just a flat-out pass rusher. Mason Graham's a defensive tackle from Michigan. He's a very good run defender, but he also gives you some juice as a pass rusher as well. I think he's got like 21% win rate on true pass sets this season. So, but, I mean, both guys are incredible, and I would love to have them. Not sure either of them fall to 11. So then you start looking at some other guys. Like a guy I think the Bengals will like is Nick Scorton. I don't love him as much because I don't think he gives the pass rush juice that I want to see, but he's a good player. And he had 10 sacks at Purdue before transferring to Texas A&M this season. And he's not been bad. He's just not as dominant as I would like if you're taking a guy in the top 15. But I think the Bengals will like him because he's like 6'4", 280.
So there's going to be a good chance there's going to be a pass rusher at 10 or 11 or 12, wherever.
Yeah, James Pierce from Tennessee, Princely.
Now, are these guys?
And I'm a little higher on. Those are edge guys.
Now, how are these guys compared to what Myles Murphy was? I know this is going to be a higher pick because Myles Murphy, I still haven't given up on him yet. I would like to see him get more of the snaps than Sam and actually find out what he can do. But he hasn't been the pass rushing presence that I think we all expected him being a first round pick. Are these guys? Do you think would they come in and make an impact right away?
Yeah, I think any of those guys should come in and make an impact. Murphy was definitely a developmental guy when it came to pass rush. He wasn't a consistent pass rush threat. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was good. He had his moments, and he's got tons of talent. He still does, and I think he's a piece. It's not even. I'm not getting him. We just need more. We need more, and we need elite pass rushers, and that's why, like, man, if I could get my hands. Jalen Walker is listed as a linebacker for Georgia, and he plays a lot of middle linebacker, but that's another guy. Wouldn't fit their size, but he can flat out get after the quarterback, and they do put him on the edge some, and I think that's when he plays his best. But, I think those guys would all make immediate impacts, even if they're as pass rush specialists, like that they get him in there with Trey, kick Myles Murphy. He's 270 or whatever. Kick him inside on passing downs. Get creative, man. Do what you need to do to have pass rush juice because we're lacking severely in that category right now.
To be honest with you, Dale, that's been the biggest problem, biggest weakness on this team. Even with Trey having the year he is not having consistent pressure on the quarterback because that exposes your secondary. Guys can't cover them more than 5, 6, 7 seconds. I mean, even Deion Sanders will have a hard time covering it. So that's where, to me, the biggest thing this is get Trey signed, get who else did I say? Trey and let T go get Trey signed and
BJ Hill's sneaky guy that you need to sign too. You don't want to get worse on it because he's a free agent as well.
That brings you to the interior. Is there a DJ Reader type in this draft that we could get? Man. And it would probably be second round.
It's tough. It's tough because Reader was like a 5th round pick. Reader wasn't Reader coming out, but yes, what he is now. And he gives you a little pass rush, but he's just a dominant run defender. But that's not what I think we necessarily need because
we need a guy just to hold,
I like Chris Jenkins, McKinley Jackson, and I like, our run defense is, I feel like is
okay.
A lot better.
Yeah, you
pass rush is what we need because a lot of people are going to like Kenneth Grant from Michigan as well. That's Mason Graham's teammate because he's like 6'3", 340. So that's the guy that people are probably going to – you'll hear this, I'm sure, Jeff, throughout this process. Mm-hmm. You'll hear some DJ Reader, I'm sure, from Bengals fans and people that are just like, oh, I love Kenneth Grant. I love this and that. So, he's not going to give you the pass rush juice that we need. Good player can give you some like Reader could. And Reader, he's the closest thing to Reader in my opinion.
But Reader, like you said, to your point, Reader wasn't a pass rusher. To me, the best thing Reader did on the pass rush is he took 2 guys and he kept them in front.
Freed other people.
And the quarterback could not step up. Yeah. Last week, there's too many times where Sherbert the guy Rankins is going this way trying to get to him, and Sherman just runs right past him. That's what DJ Reader, and that's where I'm hoping McKinley Jackson or Chris Jenkins can actually turn into, where they can at least hold their block, at least just keep their gap integrity. That's a lot of the problems that we've had when Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, these guys running quarterbacks can run on us. We're running up to go, try to get them, and they're running past us. That's the problem that we've had a lot when we went against mobile quarterbacks. That's what DJ Reader, to me, that's the biggest thing we've missed from DJ Reader is holding that gap control.
Yeah. I just want the pass rush juice. I
do too.
Personally. So like guys like Derek Harmon from Oregon, Walter Nolan from Ole Miss, those are the guys that beyond Mason Graham. And, I don't know that I want either of those guys at 11. That's the problem. There's a big drop-off to me from Mason Graham, who I would take at 11 if he fell. But then after that, it's like you may be best to wait for second round for that. But because I think there's going to be a better edge player there. And then someone, I think it was M that was in the chat and mentioned that, and I've heard this as well and was asked this question the other day also on Twitter. Someone brought up Will Campbell or the kid from Texas, Kelvin Banks, sliding in because they both play left tackle right now, one for LSU, one for Texas, but sliding those guys into guard, especially for like next season. And I would be okay with that. I think that would be good value at pick 11 for either one of those guys because you slide them in at guard. You got 2 more years of Orlando Brown. It's kind of like with Whitworth, how he played guard early in his career. Mm-hmm. You could play either of those guys at left guard, boom, immediately starters, and feel really, really good about having them at starting left guard paired with Orlando Brown for a couple seasons. And then when Orlando more than likely is gone after 2 years, you kick them out to left tackle. So I love that idea. That's actually one thing people might be like, well, you're getting a tackle for it. Well, you're not. You're getting a guard. And the Bengals don't like to take a guard that high. But if you're saying this is my future left tackle, like we did with Whitworth when we had Willie Anderson we had Willie Anderson, Levi Jones. Whitworth was a tackle at LSU.
What round was Whit?
He was the second round pick. Okay.
So you talking about this guy? You're talking about first round pick for this guy?
Yeah, I'm talking pick like if we're picking at 11, these guys they're that good. They're around that area on my board. They're top 15 players.
And to me, if you got Joe Burrow, it's worth it. You gotta
invest in your line. Look how much teams are investing in defensive tackles right now, and how they're getting just astronomical money. The ones that can get after the quarterback. So having an athletic guard that can block them is huge because those guys are starting to get paid a lot too. The guard market exploded last off season as well, and it's only going to keep going up.
Yeah, I mean, because whether people want to believe this or not, there's not a lot of high-end offensive line talent throughout the NFL. Everybody is looking for offensive line. I mean, look at Kansas City. Their tackles are awful. Their interior line's good, but their tackles are awful. I mean, Detroit has the best line in football. They drafted it. They were smart. That's what you have to do. And they're not going to be able to keep all of them. Well, I don't know. I don't think they're.
I don't know. They're signing everybody.
Yeah, they're signing everybody. I say that, and I'm like, they might. I don't know. But I'm just saying it's not as easy as people think to find offensive linemen. I mean, the Bengals have been horrible at it.
And they used to be so good.
They used to be so good at it. Yeah, holy shit. Greg Luther is actually watching my show. What is up, Greg?
Probably needed to jerk off so you wanted to see 2 handsome guys on screen.
Exactly.
Makes sense. Checks out.
But I guess the beginning of this conversation was it can get fixed in a year. Because if you draft well and you sign the right free agents,
it always can, especially when you got Joe Burrow.
Right, and that's the thing is people are still going to want to come here. People are like, some fans are like, oh, no one's want to come here because the Bengals, which I am not on the bandwagon where the Bengals are cheap because to me, I watched them in the 90s. That was cheap. Okay, when they didn't sign anybody,
they're cheapish. They're pretty. They cut a lot of. That rollover money. Where the hell does it go?
I'll put it to you this way. The thing is, for me, the difference is they've actually tried, I guess, or to fill holes for the guys that they let go. It didn't work.
With tier 3, you can't lose tier 1 players and fill tier 3 and 4 players in their position over and over. That's what's really hurt us.
Well, Geno Stone was a tier 1. He was the best safety on the market when in free agency. So that's not true.
No, he had a lot of interceptions. He was not a tier 1 guy.
but he was one of the who what were the better free agents?
I'd have to look.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he was one of the top guys in free agent. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought he was because I know everybody was pretty excited that we got him. So I mean, my point is that they've made strides. Now they haven't made enough strides. I'll put it to you that way. What are you talking about, Greg?
I know he said peanut butter, and it made me. I was like,
yeah, I don't know.
It's got the peanut butter.
I swear, him and Chop get on here and they say weird stuff. They do what I used to do to you guys on your show, just say weird stuff just to screw with you. Yeah, I know it happens. But yeah, that's where I don't consider them cheap. Cheap is when they didn't do anything and we couldn't draft anybody, and that's cheap. That's just because I grew up and I was throughout the 90s. They need to do better, and I'm not saying what they've done is okay. They have to get better.
More aggressive. I need them to be more aggressive in free agency, like when they signed Karras and Kappa, and say what you want if you love those guys or not. But it was aggressive, identified needs, and didn't wait around on 4 or 5 other guys to get picked off before them. That's what I want to see. Like that's what they have done. Been smart, but you better have your. We need this, and this, right? And we're attacking it and getting it done.
Yeah, and that's what because the thing I think screwed them up is I don't think they thought they were going to lose. I know they didn't think they were going to lose Bell. Then they scrambled. And they're like, okay, well, let's go sign Nick Scott. And then I don't think they thought they were going to lose. I had his name in my head.
They were still trying to keep Reeder till late.
Oh,
too,
Reeder,
and
yeah. I don't think they thought they were going to lose Reeder. And I'm like, I remember tweeting this out. Don't let him get on the plane. Don't let him get on the plane. He gets on the plane, he's gone. And I still think the Bengals thought, because I'm not for sure, but I think it was between the Bengals and the Tigers, the Lions. I don't think anybody else is really going after DJ. And I think for some reason the Bengals thought, well, maybe he'll go there and we'll see what he has and we can match it or whatever. I don't know what the Bengals are thinking. I would have not let him get on the plane. And also the Bengals are thinking, well, he's coming off an injury, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, you got, like you just said, that was a great point. Identify what you need, get a game plan, and go do it. And they haven't done that the last couple years. The 2 years before that, I think they did, especially when they got Kappa and Karras. That was the first. I was the first free agency announced. It was like right after midnight, bam, they announced it. So that's where I go back to say they can do this. So,
yeah. Well, when they lost William Jackson, we were all like, damn, but he got big money. But boom, they were like, boom, Mike Hilton, boom, Cheetah Bay, Woozie, and those were great.
And Carl,
they went after him quick. Yeah, Carl.
And we let Carl Lawson.
They went after trade. It was like right away though. Like one guy left, boom, they filled it, and they filled it well.
It's like they didn't think they were going to leave. That's where that's just what it seems like. They're like, then they're like, oh shit, now what do we do? Mm-hmm. That's where I think they just for some dumb reason didn't think they were going to leave, and that's where they've got to learn. People are going to leave. If that money talks, dude. If somebody's going to pay you more money, even if it is you don't think it's a better situation or whatever. NFL players only got a certain amount of money or a certain amount of time to make the money, and if you're going to pay them more money, they're probably going to leave. Yeah. And that's what the Bengals, I think, have to realize. No matter how good your culture is, how good they like it here, how much they love the locker room, how much they like the – it's money, dude. Money talks and bullshit walks. Like, you got to pay people. And that's where I think the Bengals have learned a very hard lesson this last 2 years.
Naughty has mentioned
Esther, what's up? Hi, Esther.
Naughty has mentioned Ashton Genty a couple times, running back from Boise State. Love Genty. Think he should win the Heisman over Travis Hunter, to be honest. I think he's having a terrific season.
He's not going to.
I think he'll be a great player for somebody. I don't want that for the Bengals. It's strictly because I want us to invest in the trenches. I want an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman in this draft, and I think there's talent. It's not just picking one to pick one. I think there is talented guys that would help this team immediately on the lines. But I do love Genty. Like if we ended up with Genty, I'd be like, I like that, but I don't love it because I like Chase Brown.
That's where I was at. Chase Brown, I think, since Zach Moss has played great. Yeah. Now they need to add to that room.
Yes, for sure.
I want, but you can get that in the third, fourth,
fifth round.
Yeah, I would rather have a big bruising back to compensate. Thunder and Lightning. That's what I'd like to have. But I think Chase Brown has played phenomenal. I mean, he had 140 total yards from offense. Mm-hmm. And somebody said in the comments, I think it was them, that Mixon would do what he's doing in Texas, he would have done that here. No, he wouldn't have, because if he would have, he would have done it the last 4 years he was here.
No, and if you look at a lot of his like advanced stuff, I know Joe Goodberry has put a lot of that out, like this how effective running backs are. This isn't made up stuff. Joe Mixon's still not one of the worst in the league. I mean, yeah, his good games are good, but he's had some really bad games, and that's a good system for him. And that's a good Texans line, and they know how to scheme it up, and they invest in it every year lately. And yeah, he wouldn't have been doing that here. I have no issue. I bitch about a lot of things about the Bengals. I cannot bitch about the fact that they let Mixon go when Chase Brown is a better running back right now
for this team, because this team you need an all around running back. You need a guy who can catch passes out of the backfield, split out wide, and be a running back. That's what this offense runs on. That's how it is. Go look at the Rams. That's what their running backs are. That's the way this. I mean, it's more of like the greatest show on turf, Marshall Faulk. That's the type of running back the Bengals need. Now I do want a big bruiser. We need that too for certain downs and short yardage and stuff like that. That'd be nice to have. But I think Chase Brown has been fine. And
some of those catches he had in that last game.
Oh, dude,
you won't find 5 running backs in the league that can do that.
No.
So
yeah, he's and again that he was last year's draft pick. So they did hit on somebody last year. Not too many, but they hit at least one.
Well, him in the 5th, Yoshi in the 6th. I mean, say what you want about Yoshi, but he's not bad. Like, he's not complete awful. He's a good 4th receiver. He's a lot better than Trenton Irwin, who I still don't know why the hell he's doing punt returns when Chuck Sissel's out.
I'll just put Burton out there. Let him do it all. See what happens.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, he
might decide to just.
I don't want to catch this.
I just got to drop it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, Kyle Monangai. It's a good running back class. Kyle Monangai, actually. Yeah, I've been trying to work on some of the pronunciation.
Monangai.
Yeah, I said it wrong the first time, but it's Monangai. Yeah, it's a cool name too.
Yeah, see, I haven't done any. Well, I don't do a whole lot. My draft stuff is your shit. I haven't even looked at the stuff you're sending me, so I need to look at it sometime soon. But with that being said, sorry, I'm fighting a cold here.
Yeah, man, you're struggling a little bit. You got too many. You just got too much going on to even rest, buddy.
I do.
So what happens when you're famous?
That I got to work at UPS at 3:00 in the morning.
Well, and your actual job.
Yeah, my actual job, or it's supposed to be a part-time job, but it's peak, so
holiday season.
Yeah, it turns into more of a full-time job. But tell everybody where they can find your draft guide and everything going on Project Game Day.
So the draft guide, you just DM me if you want it, and I email it to you. It's that simple. It's a PDF, and I update it regularly. $5 donation to Project Game Day. They have PayPal now, and they also have Venmo. So Venmo is usually the easiest. Screenshot that you sent at least a $5 donation to them, and I'll send you a draft guide. It's around 373 pages, I believe, right now.
That's
it? And we'll probably expand as the draft season goes on. Going to add some charts in, some PFF things in. There's a few in there now, but they're from like week 7. I'll update those when the season ends because I don't want to continuously update charts that take me 4 hours to do one of at least.
What? You got plenty of time.
Yeah, I'm not doing that all the time. I'm not updating them, but there's a few in there, especially for O-line, D-line, and things like that. But it's just got a ton of players, player reports, rankings, team needs for all 32 teams. So even if you wouldn't, I know we're all Bengals fans if you're watching this, I'm sure. But if you're not a Bengals fan, you can find that too. And I just love the draft. I love everything about it. And I thought, I would be putting together something like this probably anyways, but not to this extent. Like I was always very into the draft. But to be able to do it and help charity, Project Game Day is a charity that I'm a part of, that there's about 9 of us right now that kind of started this thing up together. And what we do is try to get military veterans and adults with, not just adults, anyone with disabilities to Bengals games. So if they've never been to one, we try to make that a little higher on the list of getting them there, but it doesn't have to be for somebody that's never, if they've been to a game or two here or there in their life, that doesn't exclude them from being nominated. You can always nominate Project Game Day on all platforms for a nominee. And we've been able to get quite a few people to games and a pretty cool experience. Darth Bengals Bengal usually makes a chain for everybody. We usually have some food down there and drinks and some fun. So it's been fun.
You guys are down there lot one.
We'll probably have a draft event that may or may not be at the Foaling House on day 2 of the draft.
May or may not. And shout out to our buddy Matty Myers. He won the Fans of Cincy awesome package. He gets to go airfare, tickets, hotel. I think all you got to do is pay for his food to the Bengals Cowboys Monday night game, which is not getting flexed because they can't, because they're going to do a Simpsons thing. So it'll be on Monday night. So they can't flex. But
yeah, Matty bought like 5 spots. They were $20 a spot, and he ended up winning the random raffle drawing that that we ran. So that's cool that Matty gets to go. That's something that we've done 2 things with Fans of Cincy like that, and you just never know what we're going to have. We had a giveaway with Garage Beer for one of their fridges that helped raise money for Project Game Day, and it's a lot of cool stuff going on, man.
Exactly. So if you guys want to donate, check out, go to Project Game Day on their Twitter, all social media. You got a link there. They can donate, right? Just if you guys just want to donate.
Yeah, and I've got it to the Bengals and Brews Twitter account. I've got a link directly to the Venmo. It's pinned at the top of my profile. And it explains, and all you got to do is screenshot your donation, shoot me a DM with your email, and I'll get you the draft guide forwarded right on to you. It's that simple.
Wing, I love Matty too. So this is a funny story. So
did you ask to be his +1?
No, I didn't ask. He called me. So he didn't even know he won. I saw you guys put it out on Twitter. So I looked and he hadn't responded. So I called him, like, "Hey, dude, you won." He goes, "You're kidding. Oh, that's awesome." I was like, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, you and somebody else get to go." I assumed he's going to take his son. So he texted me. It's like 6:00 in the morning. I'm at work. He texted me. He's like, "Hey, you want to go to this thing with me to Dallas?" I'm going, "Me?" I'm like, yeah. So I called him. I'm like, "Are you serious? Did you talk to Nate?" "Oh, Nate's got to work." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'll go."
Are you going? You're going?
So then about an hour or so later, I get a text. "Don't be mad at me, but Nate says he's going." I'm like, I'm like, "You didn't even ask him?" I told him, I go, "You didn't ask Nate first?" "Well, I thought Nate had to work." I'm like, "Dude, you should at least ask."
Got you all excited.
I know. I was like, "Yeah, I'll go." I'm like,
that's hard to pass up, man.
Yeah. I'm like, "Of course I'll go," but of course you got to take your son. Go take your son.
Yeah, no, it makes sense, Matty. We appreciate it, but if you want to buy Jeff a ticket too,
right, exactly.
and all expenses paid trip.
Yeah, he goes,
I feel bad.
Yeah, he goes, "All you gotta do is pay for your food." I'm like, yeah, I'll go. So funny, he didn't even realize it was a Monday night game. I said, because I got the show at Moreland on Tuesday. I said, "So I'm assuming we'll fly back, like Tuesday morning." He goes, "Well, I thought we'd come back Monday." I said, We're not coming back Monday night. The game's Monday night." I was like, we wouldn't get into like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning." He goes, "The game's Monday?" He goes, I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "This is all before he found out about he asked Nate."
He hadn't looked into it.
Yeah, well, it gets even. Well, then he goes, "Well, hell, I might not be able to go," because his granddaughter's got a dance recital that he wanted to go to. So then I'm sitting there thinking in my head going, "Shit, I might get both tickets."
I'm back in. I'm back in, baby.
I'm like, well, this is before he asked. This is before he asked Nate. Before he even talked to Nate. So this is before he told me I couldn't go. So I'm sitting there going, I'm going to go to Dallas. Going to, damn, I might get both tickets. If you can't go, he might give me both of them. And then he goes, "Don't be mad at me, but me and Nate are going." I'm like, all right. So. Yeah, my emotions Monday were like, "Woo! Oh, shit!" Just like the Bengals season.
It might be back on.
Yeah, exactly. Just like a Bengals game. We're gonna win this thing. Damn it, we lost.
Yeah, man. 2 days in a row, you got hit hard there.
Yeah, I was like,
football, and then Matty and the Dallas trip.
Yeah,
damn it, Matty.
Damn it, Matty. Damn it, Matty. Not damn it, Dale. Damn it, Matty. But dude, Sunday night we had so much fun. Me and Harrison were doing a watch party at Trillions, which is out there on Westchester. And I couldn't go live there. Internet sucked. So I was going to try to record the podcast. Internet sucked. I couldn't even record it. I was like, all right, forget it. So me and him just played music. Yeah, we played music in between the commercials. And we're just talking shit. And the first half, he's like, "I'm depressed. This sucks." He's not talking. And the second half, me and Harrison are jumping, running around the bar like, "Yeah, we're coming back out. It's awesome." And this one drunk dude comes up to us. He goes, "Man, I drove all," and he is totally lying. He goes, I drove. He probably is from Chicago, but he goes, I drove all the way from Chicago just to watch you guys. I'm going, I just promoted this like 2 days ago. I'm like, he goes, you guys should do this on a podcast. I'm like, well, it's supposed to be on a podcast. I can't get the internet to work. But he's like, this is awesome. You guys should do this more often. I'm like, well, we'll see what happens if Trillions wants to do it or any other bar wants to do it. That'd be fun. But I had an absolute blast all the way up until, J.K. Dobbins decided to run it all the way in and score a touchdown. Then I was surprised.
Yeah, too many Mac misses. The offense had chances. Usually they didn't even have chances. They had the ball, missed Jamar on the one, open on another one. It was just like, how do you come all the way back and then just.
And the thing that irritated me was me and Harrison are yelling this. So we get down there to I can't remember if we're trying to tie it or take the lead. I can't remember. Jamar makes a play. He's played like the whole game. Jamar's out. We got 2 timeouts. Yeah. And Zach, I love you, Zach, but you don't take a timeout. Like, why don't you take a timeout and try to figure out what you're going to do and get chased back in the game? I can't remember where that was at.
It was after the first down bomb that they just barely missed on. Is
that what it was?
He did throw to Chase, and then Chase came off on the second down because that was the first down shot, which I liked it, but. Yeah, and then he had Chase on another one where he either didn't have enough time or didn't see him and came open and didn't even, go.
Yeah, I mean, it worked. I think it worked. We went and tied it after that, but I was just like, I'm out.
No, that was on the last drive.
Oh, it was the last drive?
The last time we had the ball, yeah.
Then I'm like, why?
That's what hurts. Yeah, that's why it would have made sense to call one. I think Tony Pike talked about that too.
Yeah, like you had two timeouts. I'm like, why? Because me and Harrison both on the mic going, timeout. Call timeout. I'm like, what are you doing? I don't know. That was
a lot of frustrating losses this year. It really has been.
Yeah. So we talked to Jim Breach. He was at Moreline House Tuesday, and I asked him if he had any kicks left in him. He said no. But I asked him, and I think he described this perfectly. I said, what is going on with Ed McPherson? I said, because some people are like, you got to cut him. It's because he's married. It's because he got the money.
Because he had sex. It's because he had sex. Right. When he didn't, before he was married, he never had sex, and now he's married.
It messed him all up. And so to Jim Breach, who has forgot more about kicking a football than you and me will ever know, didn't agree with any of that stuff, especially the sex part. He said it had nothing to do with it. He goes, and he put in, I think, a very good way to think about it. If you play golf and you're swinging a golf club, if you're off by that much on your club open, closed, your swing, your legs, whatever, he said you'll get the yips, you'll shank it. And he goes, and that's where he's at. He's just getting something off on his rhythm, the way he's kicking. He's gotten into kind of a bad habit. And I said, people are like, we need to get rid of the long snapper. We get rid of the kicker. He goes. That they were fine. That wasn't the problem. He missed it.
I thought they were fine too.
Yeah, and he goes, if anybody wants to get rid of Evan, he goes, they're dumb. Well, he might not have said dumb, but that's silly. He's one of the best kickers in football.
I will say this, and I'm not ready to run him out. I mean, I like him too. I hope he gets it back together. But right now, he's one of the worst kickers. Field goal percentages made. And what I'm saying is, you've got the rest of this season that you hope he gets back right and fixes it, because there is an out with that money they gave him. Because I don't want to pay a guy, $5 or $6 million a season to be one of the worst kickers in the NFL, potentially even. When you can get a cheap, because we have so many other holes to spend the money, but they would also have to spend the money. That would be my only argument. But that would mean that he sucks the rest of the season to consider.
Right. And to be honest, kicking hasn't been that good this year. Because I was watching a lot of games Sunday. There's 4 or 5 kicks missed. I mean, Justin Tucker is having an off year. Yeah. So it's an off year across the board in the NFL for
But then there's guys coming in for vet minimum though and that's the argument against.
No. I'm not even talking about paying kicker, or I'm not even that. Yes, I agree with what you're saying. That could be an option. I'm saying for him, I am not. If it keeps happening and he sucks the rest of the year, then it's a concern.
You got to have a think the end of the year if it keeps happening. Right now, no, you don't cut him. Right now, no, you don't. No. You just keep working through it. And that's the thing too. Is like people are like, somebody's got to get fired, somebody's got to do this. I'm like, I don't think that's the answer. Because look at the New York Jets. They fired their head coach. They just fired their GM, and they're just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Look, to me, that might be an Aaron Rodgers problem. If all of it.
True. But to me, I said this a couple weeks ago. I said there's no cavalry coming. Now I wish the Bengals should have added a pass rusher at the trade deadline. They should have done more there. They should have done something like that. They didn't. But that's the only thing they could have done. There's no cavalry coming. Now the offseason is the offseason. Luke could get fired. Zach could get fired. Some could happen. Troy, not Troy. Why can't they? The GM.
Duke Tobin. He's
Duke
not
Tobin,
even. I don't.
Yeah, he's not really a GM, but
I don't
Duke Tobin
see Zach and him going anywhere. But
no,
Lou's the one that should have the hottest seat. And
yes.
honestly, like Frank Pollock and Marion Hobby, I
yes.
want to toss them in because we talk about the lines and the holes on the lines, and you got to look at those position coaches. But Lou is the big one, right? Because you can't have I think it's an audition the rest of the season for a lot of those jobs.
And my point was, I don't think any of that's happening or should happen until the offseason. I think you
especially not at this point of the season.
No,
now.
you ride with what you got, and we're 4-7. If they're most likely they're not going to come back. I still believe they can. Will they do it? I don't know. I'm just a crazy Bengal fan that thinks they can do it because there's so many. We're 1-6 and one. I keep 1-score games. I'm like, that's got to bound to turn around sometime. You would think.
Doesn't have to.
I doesn't have to, but you would think the odds are in our favor with the way Joe and Jamar and that it would turn around. I'm like, I don't know.
The Steelers. Hey, we got a bye week. Whatever. We can see how we do.
says fire everyone.
Yeah, no, that was the. I had a question mark on it though, GB. That was the title of Bengals.
Oh yeah, your title. Yeah.
Fire everyone? Question mark.
Yeah.
Hey, because at some point, man. It all has to be under consideration when you have a Joe Burrow and you're failing.
They don't make the playoffs. Something has to change, and I said that Monday show. They got to change something
for sure
because it didn't. And honestly, I think you and me discussing here, I think we figured out what one of the problems is they didn't have a plan for if these guys left. That's what they got. They have to have because. Like you said, you could tell when they had a plan. They bam, we signed this guy, we signed that guy. We let that guy, we signed that guy. We let DJ Reader go. Oh shit, let's sign Rankins. I would have rather them sign Rankins and DJ. That would have been great because that could have fixed the Larry O problem, which I've said for years we haven't fixed, and you just brought it up. And Jesse Bates.
Because then he would have been rotating in behind with BJ Hill. Would have been BJ Hill and him beside Reader a lot of the time. And I just would have made. I think it would have made that whole D line better.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing is, they have to get a game plan for and have different options. Like all right, what they should do is all right. We're gonna cut this guy. We're gonna cut this guy. We're gonna cut this guy. We're gonna have this much money. We're gonna sign Trey. We're gonna sign Jamar. Those are two things that I think need to happen in February. Get those two signed. Get it out of the way. So it's not a distraction. Get them signed. I don't want to go into March, April, May, and they haven't been signed. Sign them. Get it over with.
Know the money. Know it all. So you can hammer free agency when that starts.
Exactly. Get those two signed. Go into free agency. Know who have your guys pointed. Picked who you're going to sign. They already talked to them before the legal tampering period. So, get those guys ready, sign up, like, bam, free agency starts. All right, bam, 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 we got this guy. We got this guy, this guy, this guy. All right, draft comes around. All right, we're going to go, if we don't, if this guy's out there, then we're drafting this guy. And down the line, like, they have to have a better game plan. And I don't think they've had a good enough, obviously they haven't had a good enough game plan last couple of years. And they didn't have a contingency plan if these guys that they thought were going to be here left. And I think it's shown. I mean, that's where you get these second-tier guys. That's where you.
And you should always have a plan B, C, D, and E in the NFL. Like you should say, if this guy leaves, we're targeting this, and this right away. And maybe their plan was Rankins, and that was a terrible plan. So.
Yeah.
If Reader left, it's Rankin.
Yeah, like Wing yesterday, they played chicken with players and lost.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. That's the thing is, if you're going to play chicken, you better have somebody that's going to be at least close to what you had. And I said it. I was not the happiest. I'm like, Rankins is okay, but he's not DJ. No. And Rankins is not big. And the thing is, it's like they only looked at the tape when those guys like Stone and Rankins played the Bengals because they've had two really good games against us.
Yeah.
Did you look at the tape for everything else?
I don't get it.
Because it's just mind-numbing. But I have a question for you, being a draft guy and stuff. Tyson Anderson. Jordan Battle should definitely play some more. What's your thoughts on Tyson Anderson? He's been playing great on special teams. I think he should be a Pro Bowl special teamer. What's your thoughts on trying to get him some more playing time? It can't be any worse, right?
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't try it. I think we said that a couple weeks ago. Him or Dejon Anthony, either one, I would be fine with giving them a shot.
Give a shot.
Because Geno Stone, even if it starts being a rotational basis like you've been doing with Battle, why is Stone getting 97% of the snaps to be one of the worst graded PFF players? I mean,
but now it doesn't matter.
Now it doesn't matter. Shit, you know what I mean? Like,
I
don't care if you're making money. Like, we can cut you next year, and your performance sucks. But you know what? It's not going to happen. And Lou said he thought he played his best game of the year.
He did?
Lou said that. Yes.
Which game?
I think this past one. I'm almost positive it was this past Chargers game. He said he thought that he played the best game of the season.
Wow.
Dino did.
Holy shit. See what happens when you come on here? I get way more people talking on here. Sorry. Boogered up.
Yeah.
I was wrong, Dale.
Well, because he come on for our show where we talked about, are they wasting Joe Burrow's talent, was the question. He thought it was a crazy question to even be asking. I said they are wasting it because look at the results on the field.
They're wasting it this year, yeah.
Level. Like, you know, and they've got to do a lot now to get this right. And it's a sad spot they're in, and the fear is that it could get worse because we've been Bengals fans and we know it can get worse.
That's what I'm afraid of. That I will say that's what I'm afraid of because it sucks. It's like, all right, it seems like we hit the pinnacle, and this has happened my whole life. We hit the pinnacle, we go to the Super Bowl, and then it's not as good next year, not as good next year, and then it keeps getting worse. That's where I'm like, you guys have got to have a plan to fix this so we don't go through this again. Because they're still a good team. I mean,
but they need
they're still a talented team. I'll put it that way.
Some of the things they need to do is like that starts with the front office getting their head out of their ass. They need to hire more scouts. They need to hire more football people. They need to be a little more hands off and get more football people that can be hands-on.
Mike Brown needs to stay the hell out of it.
And Katie and Troy, they ain't smarter than everybody either.
You guys go operate the money. Let the football people do the football stuff.
They need to do that more.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll get the fuck out of here. No. Thank you.
No, but that's always the fear, right? Is that this family runs Joe, and he looks freaking depressed right now, which the man just wants to win so badly that's a big reason. But, you know, if you feel like the organization's going to let you down and not make you able to win, and I'm not saying Joe will do this, but I'm just saying that is the fear as a Bengals fan. We've seen it happen before.
Yeah. Oh, Dusty. See, look, I don't get it. Look, Dale, you keep calling me the superstar here, but I don't get any $5 super chats. I don't get half these people in the comments until you're here. I mean, you bring out people that I haven't seen on my show in, I don't know, months. And
you're
I get
right. You're right. I'm kind of a
big
fucking deal.
You are a big fucking deal. Dustin, thanks for $5 super chat. I feel like a front office might just be lazy. The workforce always has lazy people in it. Punching the clock at 4:40 to beat the traffic. Like, well, I mean, I can't argue with that because, like I said, Sheldon Rankins and Geno Stone, two of their best games were against us. They're like, oh, they played great against us. Let's go sign them.
I'll say more than lazy. I think that people that shouldn't be running football things think they're smarter than everybody else and are running football things too much. And I think that's an issue. And their unwillingness to change and modernize scares the hell out of me. Yeah, Matt.
Yes. Yes.
Did you see that clip? Did you see that clip from Monday's show? We did. We talked about that, and I clipped it out there. I even tagged him in it. He didn't respond. But
damn it, Elon. What the hell?
I tried. I did my part because I said, hey, at least, we'd have money, and you could hire this coach and that coach. You get – because people are like, well, if you fire Lou, are you going to have to settle for your 10th choice at D coordinator? Not if you make this motherfucker, not if you bring in a Dennis Allen or Robert Saleh to go along with your offensive coordinator / coach. You bring them in for D coordinator, you pay them higher than anybody else. You can pay more money for a whole bunch of scouts. You can pay more money for your position coaches. You're going to have the top of the line, baby. You get a billionaire in here that has other businesses outside of football. That's the problem. This is a family business. This is a team we root for, and we're kind of stuck with it, unfortunately.
Well, the thing is when people bring that up, it's family business. Steelers have a family-run team. Kansas City has a family-run team. You can have a good, well-run franchise, and you're not and you are a family-run team. You can do it.
But how much does that family get involved in the decisions?
Well, no, I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying you can do it.
Right. Well,
yeah.
I mean,
it wasn't long ago that we were like, Mike Brown's
all these are right. Like even the Lions and stuff, who we said are paying people. Like that woman took over after her husband passed away. Yeah. There's a lot of family-run business. It's not that it's a family. They literally family operate the football business. The thing is,
it wasn't that long ago.
Too much. There's no actual GM for a reason, because they like to still have that say as much as Duke. And if he was because there's Brett Veach or whatever in Kansas City, that's an actual GM that has more control of football operations. Most people have a president of football operations and a GM. The Bengals have neither. They have Mike Brown. I'm both, baby. Troy Blackburn, Katie Blackburn, we're that too.
Yeah. The funny thing is, it wasn't that long ago. A couple years ago, we were all saying Mike Brown doesn't have anything to do with the operation anymore. So, and now we're back to saying that Mike Brown has the final.
That's why I say Katie and Troy. I say Katie and Troy a lot, because I don't think they're any better than Mike. And Andrew Whitworth's on the record of saying with his negotiations and different things how they were, and that they're actually worse than Mike. So take it for what you want, but that's somebody who played there for 10 years.
I don't. Well, that's the thing. It's like when we got Joe, we were all thinking, "Oh, this changed," which I don't know. I'm just saying
there was something changes. There's
more than cosmetic changes. I mean,
Ring of Honor. There was things we wanted.
Well, no, they went out and signed a lot of really good free agents that we never did before. That was a huge
we always
change.
kick tires. You're right. There was some free agents.
We up until 2020, we never signed that many free agents. We never did that. So there were more than cosmetic changes. And they have consistently tried to sign free agents. They have sucked at it the last couple of years. So things have changed other than cosmetically. Now, has it worked the last couple of years? No.
They haven't done as much the last couple since the extensions of like Burrow and Chase that are upcoming. They're more like, oh, well, we're going to have so much money that we got to worry about later. And it's being cash poor. That's another issue. That's probably the biggest issue.
Well, I mean, I'll put this. All right, hold on. Let's just say Sheldon Rankins worked and Geno Stone worked. If they were legit players and we didn't notice anything different, this team would be a lot different. If those two players alone actually were good players, this would be a completely different team.
But you said earlier we should have kept DJ and added a Sheldon Rankins.
No. I know. I'm not going back on what I'm saying. I'm just saying this. If those had worked, we'd be saying this. Right. So that's what I'm saying. Is like they're still, in my opinion, and it's my opinion, I'm allowed to have one, that they're still trying. They screwed up. They missed on these guys. So that's where I'm saying it's not, and that's where I don't know if I don't think things have changed and went back to where Mike Brown has the final say so, because we're not, dude, we were awful in the 90s. I mean, when Mike Brown was running everything, we sucked. We were terrible. So that's where I'm like, I don't think Mike Brown is running every single thing. Now, is Katie and Troy better? I have no idea. I just know from when we drafted Joe Burrow in 2020, something changed. I know Joe Burrow, we got Jamar Chase, we hit on draft picks, but I'm talking to free agents. We went after, and it was a lot. We signed, I don't know, 7 free agents? And we just talked about 2 years ago, we were the first ones to come out the gate with free agents in Karis Kappa. So something changed. Something's different. They aren't the same organization they were before. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, has it worked? No.
The last 2 years, I feel like they really reverted in free agency and things. And they're still like their unwillingness to really like trades at the trade deadline, or willing to give up some of those assets, or like the final pieces. It's like,
there's
like
more
they
to do.
Progress.
Yeah. There's more to do.
They almost reverted a little bit. And it's like, no. After this season, I hope that they push back into making progress.
I agree.
As fans, right, is hope.
Yeah.
that
no, I agree with you that there's more
improving.
Yeah, there's more to do, and that's
for sure.
I agree with you. That's
where
I'm not so sure that everybody's like, oh, we're going all the way back to the Dark Ages. To me, the Dark Ages is the 90s. It's not close to that.
I don't think we're there right now.
No, either. That's the Dark Ages for me. Okay, the Dark Ages wasn't Marvin Lewis. That this is still different than Marvin Lewis because we actually are signing free agents. We're actually signing. We're not going out there and getting. We did draft Burton, but that's the first guy we've done where they've had problems with other teams or whatever. We had so many on Marvin Lewis teams. We had so many guys like that. We still don't have that on this team. So they are doing stuff different. Do they need to get better at what they've been doing? Yes. Do they need to do more? Yes. So that's where I go back.
It's a huge offseason, right? Because
yes. Oh, yeah.
I mean, in general, we know that, but like to really like the aggressiveness, I go back to that word because I think they got to be super aggressive, and they should. I mean, right now they've only got 6 picks for the draft, so it'd be hard to be aggressive there as far as moving up or down.
What would they get for T?
Some, but
what draft pick would they get for T?
Nothing.
Because
it's the following year. It does nothing for this year. That's part of when you lose a player. The comp pick is the following season. So it helps your team zero for next year.
Right.
Which is why I would still consider tagging and trading him.
I've said that
for this year. And the best you can get is a third round. And maybe that's all you can get for him.
That's fine.
Maybe you can only get a fourth for him. But if you get it for this year, there's no guarantee you get a comp pick the following year by letting him walk, especially if you're aggressive and you're signing players because that can offset. So fuck worrying about what you can get for T. Either sign him and keep him, which we don't think is going to happen.
Tag
him and trade him.
I said that
like a 4th round pick for this draft to help your team now because you got Joe Burrow now. You don't want to wait another year for a potential pick another year from now.
Yeah, I said that a lot because when the offseason was rolling around, it didn't look like they were going to sign him. I said, I can totally see them, and they should do this, tag him and trade him. That's what they should do. Because you got to get something for him. You can't just let this guy just walk for nothing. Tag him and trade him and let some other team negotiate with him. Somebody will give you a 4th round pick for him. It's T freaking Higgins.
You would hope. Hope.
So that's what I hope. I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot I even said that in the offseason. I do a lot of shows. I forget what I say.
You do a lot of shows.
I do. I didn't do one yesterday. I wasn't feeling too good. So, but I am doing one tomorrow, which Dale, you need to make the trip. You're 2 hours from everything, but I really do think you need to make the trip at least sometime and come hang out with us at Millions Cafe right there in the middle of Mount Lookout Square. I'll be there. Joe Farson's going to be there with me. We start at 6:30, goes till 7. Like I said, we've had some interesting stuff happen there, Dale. We had a heckler the first week. We had a drunk guy that got the ambulance that shut the whole road down and everything. My wife and daughter, I sent them a link, so they took their phone. They started videoing out there with the drunk guy getting on the gurney. It's been a very, very interesting time. So if you guys come, we can interact, talk some sports, we talked about the Tyson-Paul fight, which I was shocked, dude. I seriously thought Tyson was going to whoop his ass.
Nah, rigged.
Dude, it was. But did you watch the UFC?
UFC, yeah. I watched
John.
Steve A and John, yeah.
John
Steve
Bones,
A, man,
John.
he's washed. Bro's 42, and I like Steve A. He had a great career, but
he hadn't fought in, 2 years?
Yeah, that man. I hope he made a good amount of money to go in there and do and fight it all.
He probably broke every one of his damn ribs with that kick.
It did. It came out that he had this and that, and it screwed a lot of shit up. John Jones is a nasty dude. I need him to fight Espinal. No, don't duck him, John. Come on. That
would be nice. That'd be the next one. I do think Ron Jones is the baddest man on the planet now. Not Mike Tyson, unfortunately.
Yeah, John's it's hard to argue that he's the GOAT of the UFC. Like,
dude, I mean, he's won in every weight class. Every fucking weight class he's been in.
He's a stud. Don't be ducking people though. Now, John, come on now. Your legacy's fine. It ain't gonna change nothing.
Nah, we want a good fight. That's what I want to see.
Yes.
Yes.
Not a 42-year-old Stipe that's my man was done.
Did you like the dance he did at the end?
That dance is taking over.
That's taking over. Everybody's doing the Trump dance out.
Yeah. You got to work on that, man. You almost look like you're skiing. It's like,
well, I'm sitting down. If I stand up, I can do a lot better.
You look like you're jerking off 2 giraffes. That's what you look like you're doing.
On that note, We've been off for an hour and 14 minutes. Dude, this is why I like having you on. We got to do this more often. I say this every time. Well, because, it was going to be on Fridays, and then Million
decided I had to do another live show.
You could come down. That's what I keep telling you. You're invited. Come hang out with your boy on Friday. Wait, you don't even have to work on Saturday. I have to work Saturday. You at least come down, hang out.
It's the end of the week, crowd.
The Bengals pimp Dale show up. Because, dude, you can have some very interesting conversation. This show is completely different than Moreline. This is at a bar. You got drunk people there. It's interesting. I'm going to have some very interesting shows there, just for people to show. So, just you guys want to come up and heckle and have fun with me, come on down.
Thank you for having me on. I think my toes are officially frozen. It is so cold down here. I don't even have a heater down here right now. I need to get a new one because this one stopped working this year. So
go get a heater. Who day?
So cold. Bye.
See ya. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Make sure you guys go check out Project Game Day. Go check out Bengals and Brews. These guys do an awesome job. I appreciate those are my boys. You go check them out down at Lot 1. If you're looking for a tailgate to check out that's in a parking lot, or if you're looking for one in the banks, come check me out. I'll get that here in a minute. But thanks for watching. I've been live streaming on ZTV Online, YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch. You can follow me all these along with Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And shout out to my sponsors of the show. They are Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Check them out there for all your lawn and landscaping needs, along with snow removal, which we don't need it yet, but we're getting there. And if you have any leaf removal or any kind of lawn or landscaping stuff you need, check out Priority Lawn and Landscaping. They need to put their phone number up on there so you can call them. I tell them to do that for the graphic next. And also, Midwest Best Barbecue and Creamery, right there in Ward's Corner Avenue exit. They got the Dillinator wings, the G-Funk, the CTB. They're all delicious wings. Like I said, literally take a dart and throw it at the menu. I guarantee you'll like whatever you get. Tell Tim and Nicole Ice sent you. Also, Meyer Window and Doors. Check them out at www.meyercincinnati.com for all your window and door needs. I got them in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. And my West Side peeps. Go check out Hail Mary's, your ticket to the game. They got big-ass TV screen, beer specials, food trucks. It's right in the heart of Chevois. That's a fancy way of saying Chivit. Again, tell them I sent you. Hail Mary's, your ticket to the game. And then, as I was saying before, if you're looking for a tailgate on the banks, I highly recommend you check us out at Mercedes-Benz of Fort Mitchell at Moreline Lager House, the pregame experience. It is 3 hours before every single Bengals home game. It's an open bar, people. All you can drink. Food buffet. All you can eat. We got a DJ. I'll be there doing a pregame podcast. If you're feeling froggy, you can jump on the podcast with me. It's only $75. It is the best deal on the banks. If you're going to go to the banks and you go to different bars around there and you're going to just drink, you're going to spend more than $75. I guarantee you. If you're trying to, really pregame and fuel up for the show, especially 3 hours before the game. So check them out at the Moreline Lager House social media platforms and mine. It's on there. The link's on there to get the tickets. And then you can check me out on this Tuesday, live at the Moreline Lager House. I will have Bearcat broadcaster and member of the Final Four Bearcat team, Terry Nelson, will be joining us live there. We'll be talking some Bearcat basketball. They're off to a great start. I think they're number 18 in the country. They took on NKU and won last night. They play this Saturday. I can't wait till conference play starts. It's going to be awesome. But check us out. The show starts at 6, goes till 8. Happy hour is extended from 3 until 9. What does that mean? That means $5 drafts, house wines, well drinks, and $2 off appetizers. It is also Prime Rib Tuesday at Moreline Lager House. So you can get yourself a delicious, delicious steak for $29.95. Again, that's Moreline Lager House. And like I said, tomorrow night, me and Jeff Farsing will be at Millions Cafe. Please come on down. Enjoy the fun. Like I said, this is it's a different show than Moreline. Me and Joe are going to be there talking sports, talking whatever, talking to people in the bar. It starts at 6, goes till 7. So join us there. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be talking some Bengals, some Bearcats, and I don't know, in general, whatever you guys want to talk. If you guys got something you are dying to get my opinion about or Joe's opinion about, bring it Tuesday. I'll give you a microphone. You don't have to come on camera. I'll give you a mic. I at least like you to be on the mic so people on the internet on here can hear what you're saying. So come on down to Millions tomorrow night at 6:30. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow at Millions. And that's your sports, baby. See ya!
We can match the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with strawberry ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's good delight. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting